embracing change as a path to growth. Change often arrives quietly at first, in whispers and subtle nudges, a shift in the air, a new thought on the horizon, a gentle unease in the patterns we've long called familiar. But then, like the rising tide, it builds momentum, asking us to notice, to listen, to awaken. It is not here to disturb us, though it may feel that way. It is not here to destroy us, though we may resist it. It is here to call us into becoming, to remind us that we are not static beings meant to remain fixed and unmoved. We are ever-evolving expressions of life, and to grow is to honor that truth. Change is life's way of sculpting us, of refining the rough edges of our identity until we begin to remember our true form. And though we may long to cling to what was, the soul does not thrive in confinement. It longs to stretch, to expand, to soar. And so change comes, not to punish us, but to free us. There is a deep wisdom in nature if we choose to look. Trees do not cling to autumn leaves when winter calls. They surrender them gracefully, trusting that spring will come. Rivers do not hesitate at the bend, they simply flow. The moon does not mourn its waning. It knows it will wax again. Everything in the natural world moves with the cycles, with the changes, with the dance. It does not resist, it transforms. And yet we so often resist. We dig our heels into the familiar. We hold on to people, identities, situations, even pain, as if letting go would mean losing ourselves. But in truth, the only way to find ourselves is through that very letting go. We are not meant to remain trapped in past versions of who we were. We are not meant to live in the shell of an old dream, a faded story, or a worn-out role. Change is the breath of the soul. Without it, we wither. With it, we bloom. To embrace change is to say yes to growth. Not just in the easy moments, not just when it feels good, but especially when it's uncomfortable, uncertain, or unknown. Growth asks us to walk through the fire of transformation and trust that we won't be burned, will be revealed. Change peels away what is no longer aligned, not to leave us empty, but to make room for what truly belongs. The relationship that ended, the job that faded, the plan that unraveled. These are not failures, they are portals. Portals into a deeper understanding of who we are, what we value, what we are here to create. And when we stop labeling these moments as wrong and instead meet them with presence and openness, we begin to see the grace woven into every shift. But how do we embrace change when it hurts? How do we grow through change when it feels like the ground is falling away beneath us? We begin by returning to this moment. The mind will race to the past or to the imagined future, clinging to what was or fearing what might be. But the only place transformation can occur is here, now. Breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the beating of your heart. Let yourself feel whatever is arising. Growth is not in the avoidance of discomfort, but in our willingness to sit with it, to breathe through it, to allow it to soften us. Change will often crack us open, but it is in those cracks that the light enters. It is through those openings that the soul begins to speak more clearly. And if we listen, we will hear its voice, soft, steady, and true. It will remind us that we are not lost. We are being led. Growth is not linear. It does not move in perfect lines or predictable curves. It spirals. It dips. It circles back to old lessons in deeper ways. Sometimes it feels like standing still. Sometimes it feels like falling. But even in the stillness, the seed is preparing to sprout. Even in the falling, the wings are learning to open. And every moment, no matter how small, is shaping us. Do not underestimate the power of quiet change. A shift in perception, a new habit, a release of judgment. These are sacred movements. These are signs of growth. You do not need to have it all figured out. You do not need a perfect plan. You simply need to say yes to the next step. Trust that each step will lead to the next, that each moment of courage will open the way. Your path may not look like anyone else's, and that is not a flaw. It is your masterpiece. Comparison is the thief of joy, and joy is the soil in which growth flourishes. So celebrate your own unfolding. Honor your own timing. Let yourself grow in the way that is most true to you. Sometimes change asks us to leave something behind, a belief, a habit, a version of ourselves that once served us but now limits us. And letting go can feel like loss, but it is often the greatest act of love. Love for your future self. Love for the life that is calling you forward. Do not fear the space that opens up when you let go. That space is sacred. It is not emptiness, it is potential. It is the canvas upon which the new can be painted. And when you resist filling it too quickly, you give yourself the gift of clarity, of intentionality, of alignment. You are not broken, you're not failing, you are unfolding. And the more you trust in the wisdom of that unfolding, the more peace you will find, even in the midst of change. Growth is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you are beneath the layers, beneath the conditioning, the expectations, the noise. It is about coming home to yourself again and again. And change is the path that leads you there. So breathe, trust, let go, begin again. When fear arises, meet it with compassion. When doubt whispers, anchor yourself in truth. When you feel lost, return to your breath, to your heart, to your essence. You are never alone on this path. Every soul is walking their own journey of change, their own sacred spiral of growth. And together, we are remembering. Together, we are rising. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present, to be willing, to be real. Your presence is more powerful than your plans. Your willingness is more valuable than your certainty. And your authenticity is your greatest strength. Let change guide you into deeper presence. Let growth teach you to be even more fully yourself. Embrace the messiness, the beauty, the chaos, the clarity, the sorrow, and the joy. They are all part of the dance. They are all part of becoming. You are not here to remain small. You are here to expand into all that you are. Let the change shape you. Let it stretch you. Let it remind you that you are alive. This is your invitation to rise, to release, to transform. The past is not your prison. The unknown is not your enemy. The change you fear may be the very key that unlocks your freedom. Step through the doorway. Say yes to the unknown. Say yes to your becoming. You are ready. You always have been.